Good day, everyone. I was born and raised in Detroit. Growing up there, I saw people like me running things. This is a courtroom, not a circus, so we're gonna calm down.
I'm sorry.
What I found there was a passion that I didn't know existed. This is the bottom line. I'm excited to free fall into the limitless possibilities with we the people. So many are fearful of the law. They think it's something that works against them. I think you need to begin to accept responsibility for your mistakes. We are the people.
Astrid Mendoza claims she was stuck at the airport after a coworker failed to warn her that their gate had changed. WALIA says his phone died, so he had the airline announce the switch. Mr. WALIA is countersuing for $210.
Good day, everyone.
Good day.
This is the case of Mendoza versus WALIA. Ms. Mendoza, you are suing Mr. WALIA for $335. You say that he abandoned you at the airport and you had to pay costs to get home. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
The defendant, you say you apologize for that and she owes you half of the parking fee.
Yes, Your Honor.
What happened? Where were you going or where were you coming from?
So we were on a flight from Seattle, Washington, back to Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm an executive producer and he is a graphic designer at Logic Images.
Okay, so you work together at the same company?
Yes.
All right.
So we were coming back from a family reunion about a year and a half.
So this wasn't a company trip, you went to a family reunion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Whose family reunion?
His.
Mr. WALIA, you asked Ms. Mendoza to come with you to the family reunion?
Yes, Your Honor.
Let me ask you why? Why Ms. Mendoza?
I don't really talk to my mother that much, so having her there, just talking to everybody and kind of just easing some tension and anxiety for me.
So you're just not isolated and alone in the space. She's there to just give some extra chatter.
Exactly.
Fill in some of the blanks.
Exactly.
All right, so you go to the family reunion, right, Ms. Mendoza?
Yes.
And that's not the issue here?
No.
It's when you were coming back?
Yes, Your
Okay,
Honor.
tell the court what happened.
It was an hour before we were boarding. Rom wanted us to get some coffee. He really wanted coffee for the flight, and I asked him, are you sure we have enough time to get the coffee before we go on this flight? And he said, yes, we have an hour. So I said, okay. I go down to the end of the terminal, I get the coffee, then I come back, and the flight attendant tells me that the gate has changed right back to where I was at the end of the terminal. So now I run back all the way to the end of the terminal. My coffee's spilling everywhere. I'm sweating. I'm stressed out, and I don't receive any calls from him, no texts. So he is actually on the plane, and I watch the plane go up the runway. It takes off, and I'm left there.
Oh, they closed the door and the flight left.
And
the gate changed and the flight left.
Yes, and he never told me about the gate change.
And you never got a text saying, hey, hurry up?
No.
So, Mr. WALIA, why didn't you text Ms. Mendoza and say, listen, forget the coffee, come on, because they've changed the gate and we're gonna leave?
I looked down at my phone and my phone was dead, Your Honor. As soon as they announced that the gate was changing, I went up to the front desk and I said, hey, can you please give a loudspeaker announcement to Ms. Mendoza?
Did they give the loudspeaker announcement?
They did, ma'am, yes.
But you didn't hear it?
How would I be able to hear that? Do you know how many loudspeakers go on in an airport? It's like, it's so loud there. And I was walking, I had a mission.
So you did have them give the loudspeaker announcement?
Twice, Your Honor.
Why didn't you just wait for her? What was the issue? You were leaving your family reunion. Couldn't you take a later flight together?
I actually had a client meeting later that night, Your Honor.
All right, did you pay for her plane ticket or you paid for your own plane ticket to this family reunion?
I paid for my own plane ticket.
All right, so do you have evidence of how much you paid for that ticket?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'll take everything.
Oh,
Give it to Your Honor.
thank you.
Here you go, Your Honor.
So you paid $200 for the ticket. What is this $135 for?
Oh, that is the ride share that I had to get back from coming from the airport because he was the one that drove us there and we were going to split the parking at the airport. But then when he landed from his plane, he took his car back, so I didn't have a ride back home.
So how long did you have to wait in the airport before you actually got a flight?
4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. And so you're suing him now for $335. Why?
$200 for the flight change and $135 for the ride share. I am willing to pay for the ticket that I originally paid for. The $200 is for the changing flight that I had to
Oh,
pay
so
the
you
additional.
did incur a cost to change to the later flight.
Oh, yes, sorry,
So the
Your Honor.
original ticket, you're not suing him for the cost of that.
No.
The $200 that's here is not for the original flight. It is for the change fee.
Yes.
Okay, I see that now down at the bottom. All right, so you're not asking him, you saying I voluntarily went on and paid that ticket. I want the $200 I had to pay to change my flight.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and so Mr. WALIA, you are countersuing for $210.
Yes, Your Honor.
For what?
For the parking that we decided to pay together before we went to Seattle. When we entered Cincinnati Airport, we paid for parking for that 7 days, and it was $420, and we decided together that we'd just split it down the middle. But the thing that really made me angry was the next morning, after I texted her, hey, Astrid, can we talk about this? I'm really sorry for ditching you in Seattle and missing your flight. I texted her, hey, can we talk about this? And she didn't respond, she didn't say anything, and all she said was, hey, you need to pay my change flight fees, and you need to pay my ride share, and that's it. And I'm not paying you for the parking. And that's what really kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Coming up,
Let me run and find her at this coffee shop and tell her that the gate changed. Did you do that?
I thought about it, but
But
I
you
didn't
didn't do it.
You
I
didn't
didn't do it.
You
All
never
right.
do that. You always say that you're going to think and do something, but you never actually take the action to do something.
Oh, okay.
and later,
I specifically chose 3 items that reminded me of my grandparents, and I have come to find out since that they have been sold by my aunt by marriage, Miriam.
if you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with the case of Astrid Mendoza, who brought WALIA to court over being left behind at the airport.
Well, I see some text messages here that the plaintiff submitted about how you asked her to go. It would just be nice to have a good friend there. You said, of course, I'll chat later, we'll book the flight. So this is the issue. Do you owe her any duty of care? And this is where life lessons and legal lessons kind of get intertwined, right? Because the truth is, you all were friends. You voluntarily decided to go support him. It might have been a nice little vacation or a little time away from you. You also, Ms. Mendoza, as I think about this, had the opportunity to say, hey, I'm not going to get no coffee. Go get your own coffee. Why did you decide to go get his coffee? Do you work for him?
Absolutely not, Your Honor.
So why were you the coffee runner?
Well, lately he's just been very distraught, and especially after seeing all of his family and his mom, it's still like weird tension and just like, he's just really not himself. So I thought that maybe this act of generosity would just help him to kind of just feel better about coming back to work and being here.
You know, this has happened to me before, and this is why this situation is so interesting. I had a flight before that was delayed. I went down to the restaurant to have a meal, and just as you said, when they start calling it over the loudspeaker, you don't hear it. You're in the little cafe area eating, thinking that your flight is delayed. I learned this the hard way. Did you know that when you went to get that coffee, that flight could change gates and leave out earlier than expected? Did you know that?
No, Your Honor, I was not thinking about that.
All right. So you get on the flight, and you're just sitting there hoping that she gets on in time.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you telling the flight attendants that, hey, there's somebody else coming? She went to get coffee, there's somebody else coming.
Yeah, she literally had the seat right next to me, and I said, hey, my friend is getting coffee. The flight attendants at the desk called her name twice. Could we just wait until she gets here? I had an empty seat right next to me, and I was just waiting for her, just looking and watching, waiting for her to come. But then as soon as, the door closed.
Did you feel like crap? Because it feels kind of crappy. She came to support you, and then you left without her.
Yes, Your Honor, I did feel crappy about it.
Okay, but you didn't feel crappy enough to offer her any money or tell her you'd at least cover the parking.
I did feel crappy about it, but I think the way she handled it the next morning really kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
What made you angry about the way she handled it?
Because she kind of just accused me of abandoning her and charged me money right away. I thought we were friends. First, at least, we meet up in person and talk about what happened.
Did you ever think to yourself, oh, let me run and find her at this coffee shop and tell her that the gate changed? Did you do that?
I thought about it, but
you
I
didn't do it.
You
I didn't do it.
You
All
never
right.
do that. You always say that you're going to think and do something, but you never actually take the action to do something.
Oh, okay.
Oh, now you ready to talk now. You mad. Okay. Listen. It doesn't seem that you've made the effort to give the same care and concern and consideration to a friend that gave it to you. And from a legal standpoint, listen, You all don't really have a contract. She didn't expect to get paid because she went there voluntarily to support you. But at the point, you didn't at least offer up some type of care, letting her know the gate changed, letting her know. You said your phone was just dead. You didn't say I went to try to plug in my phone. You could have plugged in your phone on the plane. Text her from there. You have not made any effort except having them tell her over the loudspeaker. And I realize you had this meeting. What do you have to say? And it better be
Your Honor.
important, because I'm tired of listening to this.
Your Honor, at 9:29 p.m., I texted her when I charged my phone on the plane. I texted her, "Hey, Astrid, I'm sorry. This is what happened."
Does anybody have that text message?
I have it, Your Honor.
Let me have it.
Let me have everything, your folder and
Sure.
everything. Is that
Yes, sir.
It's in here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And Your Honor, also, and that was at 9:29 as soon as I landed when I was charging my phone on the flight.
Oh, you said you charged the phone on the flight and texted her when you landed.
Yes, ma'am.
Not got your phone on and texted before it took off. This doesn't make any sense.
We changed the gate and then we had to go to another terminal, and so I was just walking with the crowd of people and I didn't have an opportunity to charge my phone.
No, you didn't do enough, Mr. WALIA. I'm done hearing it. You didn't do enough. You had a person spend money to support you voluntarily. You then know that the flight is gonna change, the gate's gonna change, and you do nothing to make her aware of that. I believe you owed her a little bit more duty of care than what you exercised. And for that reason, I'm going to award the plaintiff the $335, which is the change fee as well as the ride share, because you left it there. You could at least text her and said, "Hey, when you get in, I'll come back up there and pick you up."
Your Honor, I went to the flight desk and I had them call her name twice, and nothing
Mr.
happened.
WALIA, I don't want to hear any more. Judgment for the plaintiff for $335, and your countersuit is dismissed. You better get you some better friends. I wish you both the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $335.
You know, you really hurt me.
You know, you really hurt me. You made our friendship about money.
It's not
Seems
about
like.
money, it's about your behavior. You know, you're so selfish. Look what it gets you.
Oh,
Court.
really? He always had a hot temper.
Coming up,
Was there a written agreement as to how long you were supposed to hold these items?
No.
No, Your Honor, but my understanding was that it was not an issue, as my uncle had never said anything to us
Well,
about it.
he would let it stay there forever, but that's not what I agreed to.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. Anthony DIRKS claims his aunt agreed to store family heirlooms for him, then got rid of them. Miriam DIRKS says her lazy nephew blew her off for years and never showed up for his stuff, so he's to blame.
Good day, everyone.
Good day.
This is the case of DIRKS versus DIRKS. Mr. DIRKS, you are suing Miss DIRKS for $900. You say the defendant sold family items that were yours. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And the defendant, you say, you told the plaintiff to come get his stuff.
Yes.
All right, let's start with you, Mr. DIRKS.
Your Honor, a couple of years ago, my grandparents passed away, and my Uncle George and Aunt Miriam, by marriage, agreed to hold on to the items until they could be sorted out by my siblings, cousins, and myself. I specifically chose 3 items that reminded me of my grandparents, and I have come to find out since that they have been sold by my aunt by marriage, Miriam.
All right, what kind of items were these?
One was a mink coat, and one was a silverware set and a set of crystal glass.
Okay, do you have pictures of
yes, I
that?
do.
All right, may I see your evidence,
Certainly.
please? And so this is your aunt by marriage.
Correct.
All right, and how did she have the occasion to have them? Can you make that clear to the court?
My Uncle George, whom is not in the courtroom today, agreed to hold them at their residence.
Did you and your husband agree to hold these items at your residence, Ms. DIRKS?
We did, but we didn't mean that long.
Was there a written agreement as to how long you were supposed to hold these items?
No.
No, Your Honor, but my understanding was that it was not an issue, as my uncle had never said anything to us about
Well,
it.
he would let it stay there forever, but that's not what I agreed to.
Was this an inconvenience for you? Did you donate or give the stuff away?
Yes, I did.
What did you do to it?
I sold some of the stuff.
And when you decided to sell it, did you make Mr. DIRKS aware that you
Yes.
had intention to sell it?
I had actually called him over the years, every year, and told him, you know, come get your stuff. And he would say he's too busy, he can't do it right now, it's inconvenient.
How many years did you have the stuff?
3.
Did you ever email him?
Yes,
Put that in writing.
Yes, I did.
May I see that, please?
This was the time I had the final one.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
So you have a text message that says, listen up, you need to come get what you want and take it. I'm tired of this stuff taking up all the space. Come get it or it's going to the trash or I'm selling it. So you respond back, you can't just do this without notice. I think she thought she was giving you notice. Now isn't a good time for me. I'm traveling for work. So you did let her know, I'm traveling right now.
Yes.
I'm not there.
I'm on the road
Well,
roughly.
it's never a good time. Consider this your official notice.
Yeah, he's always busy. He never can do anything.
Coming up,
They didn't talk that much because my husband doesn't even like
Oh,
him.
Lord, have mercy.
My husband doesn't. He calls him a lazy. I won't even go into it.
you're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake. We're back with a dispute between Anthony Dirks and his aunt, Miriam Dirks, over abandoned family heirlooms.
Unfortunately, you only have one text exchange and the rest is all, right? And you're also testifying similarly that he's saying you would always want the stuff gone, but the uncle would, your husband would just be like, whatever.
It's like cleaning the house. I mean, I want
And then
clean.
you say, you agree and say, my husband doesn't like confrontation. He's not into all that, which only further says to this court that perhaps what he inferred from having conversations with your husband is true.
I
That
don't think
he thought it didn't really matter.
I don't think he talked
And
that
his
short.
and the uncle is the one he's related to. Not to be funny,
No,
but you
true.
are the wife of his
Yeah.
uncle.
But they didn't talk that much because my husband doesn't even like
Oh,
him.
Lord, have mercy.
He calls him a lazy. I won't even go into it.
How many times did you talk to your uncle over this time, Mr. Dirks? How many times?
I would say specifically about this topic, not
Never.
once, but it would occasionally come up in our conversations.
It would just come up in conversations.
Yes.
And then what did you say during those conversations?
I'd say, is it okay if it's still there? And he's like, yeah, it's not really bothering anybody.
But then Ms. Dirks says he's nonchalant and non-confrontational. So maybe he didn't say, come get it right now, I'm serious.
Well,
You've left that stuff there a mighty long time, though, Mr. Dirks. Let's be
Correct,
honest.
Your Honor.
I think you've gotten to the point, and listen, if you travel and you are on the road for work, I can understand how you could lose track of things and say, okay, I'll get it next time, and then go out on the road again, and then you come back and not get it. But it seems to me if you valued the things, right? If you truly valued those things, you would make a way to come get them.
Judge Lake's verdict when We the People returns. You're watching Emmy-nominated We the People with Judge Lauren Lake.
How much money did you make from this stuff? Because I heard enough.
Oh, I don't know, $200, maybe $3. I'd have to add it up.
I'm going to order Ms. Dirks to pay you half of the amount she made on those things, which is $111. Judgment for the plaintiff for $111. Court is adjourned.
Judge Lake has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant owes $111.
Any final thoughts for each other?
He doesn't
wish he would've
deserve.
seen
He
you.
doesn't deserve a penny. I mean, this is ridiculous.
I wish you would have seen through you like my uncle
Yeah.
can.
Oh, right.
Okay. You've had your day in court. Please grab your belongings. Follow me. Ladies first.
This has been a production of Allen Media Group.